Welcome to this week's episode of Leadership Soundbites with Michelle and Tanzi, my very, very special guest. And actually, she's my sister from another mother. Well, same mother, just different nose, whatever that means. Anyway, I adore Tanzi. I love being in the room with her, and I'm super excited about this topic because it's around transitions, career transitions, and stuff that may not be obvious to some, and what that looks like. So I'm excited about that. So here's our quote. And it is, if you are not willing to risk the unusual, you will have to settle for the ordinary. And that's from Jim Rohn. And so if anybody who knows Tanzi is anything but ordinary. And so what I want to talk about is you've been in healthcare, been a healthcare leader for, how long has it been now? 12 years?
Yeah, maybe 12 years. I think I've been a nurse for about 17, 18 years. So,
Yeah. So maybe 12 or 13 years. And I think that's about the time we met, is when you stepped into leadership role in healthcare.
right.
I've been super honored to help guide, coach, be there as sounding board through all the career progressions that you've made. And I'm super excited because this new role that you just started is a CNO. While it's still in healthcare, it's in outpatient healthcare. And for anybody who knows, it's almost like, the industry, but you don't know the industry. You don't know the particulars about delivery. And so I want to kind of unpack that about what it took, because this is about, it's not the usual, air quote, usual path that someone would take who's looking at the acute care environment, which anybody who's listening who doesn't know healthcare, it's the hospitals.
Right.
Right. And now your role is in the outpatient clinics, like the doctor offices, that sort of space. So welcome to the conversation and your journey.
Thank you, Michelle. Yes. So this is kind of what I guess, marking a new path in my career. The outpatient setting. Very cool. I'm actually really excited to have the opportunity to explore a different sector of healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really looking forward to bringing my wealth of experience from the inpatient setting and seeing how that will impact and support the outpatient setting.
What's really cool when you say that is when I think about, because when I was at Sutter Health in the process improvement world, one of the things when I stepped into director of the improvement team was the opportunity to bring foundation, so the outpatient consultants that supported that world, and then the inpatient world together. So that because the patients experienced the healthcare journey across both, and yet the teams that were supporting it stopped. So
Yeah,
that you had the outpatient team, and then you had the inpatient team. And
right.
I think the perspective that you bring is from the inpatient perspective, and not just learning, bringing your perspective, but understanding the others as well. So that's the part that really I'm excited to hear and learn your journey and your ahas and what you're able to bring to the table, to the outpatient world, to bridge some of those gaps.
Yes, absolutely. And one of the things that I really thought about when deciding to take this role is trends in healthcare. Some of the trends that I've noticed were outpatient clinics. There, if you look outside, if you drive down the street, they're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of our sick patients are in the hospital, but maybe we have some of those that are still sick, but not sick, are on the outskirts or outside of the hospital. And so those patients need care, whether it's care at home or care in a clinic. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited to be able to witness and be a part of the patient journey, as they, I've had the opportunity to work with them as they entered the hospital, and now
Mm-hmm.
I'll get a chance to see what things look like outside of the hospital, and then how we continue the care for our patients in the community. So very exciting.
What's cool though too is I think about the opportunity on the outpatient setting, because what you just said is the sick, right?
Yes.
Is that by the time patients get in the acute care setting, they do have some episode, right? some acute episode that took place typically. But you have the opportunity then to help manage patients' wellness so that they don't necessarily end up in the inpatient setting. The other thing that came to mind for me is when you were talking is when you're, because you're a leader who rounds, right? You go to where the work's happening, you go to where the patients are, you go to where your teams are supporting care. And when you're in a hospital setting, you put your walking shoes on and you just walk around the campus, right?
Right.
Um, how's that changed for you, Tansy, in the outpatient world?
Oh my goodness. I mean, it's changed tremendously, but it's really cool. So instead of walking out to the hospitals, I'm on the road to various clinics through the system to just check in and see how the work is happening, what workflow look like, um, just to kind of witness the day to day and see what I can learn from the team. So very different. But I'm excited about it. I'm
I know
excited.
you are.
I'll be rounding next week.
Oh, it's Nurses Week.
Yes, it is.
So
We're
next week. So
celebrating.
we're recording on Friday, the May 3rd, right? And so Nurses Week is May 6th. So I'm excited about that. And thank you, nurses that are providing care, because it is a tough freaking job.
Absolutely tough, but very rewarding.
Yeah. No, I hear you. And I not one I can do. I can support you, but not one that I can do. But I'm curious, and I'm sure people listening may be curious, how difficult was that decision? How scary was it for you to go? Because you're literally going, you're a nurse, so you know how to care for patients, but you know how to care for patients in the ED or the inpatient setting. Um, how scary was it for you to step into a space that you know but you don't know?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It was on some levels scary. However, if anyone knows me, people know that I'm a risk taker. I think my brain kind of shifted to, wow, this is a huge opportunity to learn, especially with
Hmm.
healthcare. Wow, I've got this experience here on the inpatient setting, and now here's a potential opportunity to learn outpatient operations.
Hmm.
Wow. And so that's kind of where my mind shifted. So not really in the space of fear, but in the space of here's an opportunity to learn something new. And I love new and change. So this is right up my alley.
So, Tansy, I have a question for you when I think about you as a leader and how you are with your team and touch points. And I know in the inpatient setting, you would have daily meetings with your leadership team, developing them and stuff like that. It's easier to do when everyone's in the same brick and mortar building.
Right.
What are your thoughts? And I have not asked you about this, but what are your thoughts about what does it look like to start leading that team, bringing that team, be able to develop that team of leaders in a completely different environment because you guys are not necessarily in the same brick and mortar building.
Yeah, absolutely. So from my perspective, there's a lot of learning happening right now. What I'm working on is understanding kind of workflows right now in terms of how often do we meet, who's in the room when we meet, and then from that I'll be able to decide how we come together as a team. I believe regular touch points are really really important, and it's actually going to be the key to our success together as a
Mm-hmm.
team. And so I have some ideas, but I want to observe a few other things before I
Mm-hmm.
realize. But, I think it may look like, won't be every day. It may not
Mm-hmm.
be, twice a week. It may be, once every 2 weeks with,
Mm-hmm.
more frequent touch points with smaller groups. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm definitely open to adapting to the atmosphere to ensure that we have the touch points that we need to be successful.
Yeah. What And this is probably a freaking interview question that someone asked you. What are your first 30 to 60 days when I think about this? But you're going into a new aspect of healthcare. So it's not just I've done this before. I've been there, done that. The difference is the team, the location, the people. But this is the team, the location, the people, and the aspect of delivering care, which is completely different. So what are your first 30, 60, 90 days in this new leadership role? What's your plan?
That's a great question also. I mean, I think my plan involves a lot of observation. What I've really been working on doing is pulling the teams in the room and just building relationships. That is
Mm-hmm,
literally my go-to right out of the gate is how do I build relationships with the people, not only on my team, but those supporting teams also. And
mm-hmm,
so I've been spending a lot of time, just getting to know people, wanting to understand kind of, what life looks like, outside of work as well as in work, you know,
mm-hmm,
trying to understand what day to day barriers look like, what's getting in the way of success, or
mm-hmm,
what does success look like?
mm-hmm,
So just kind of understanding those things and notating those things. I think that's really going to help propel us as we move forward.
mm-hmm. What are you most excited about?
What am I most excited about? I don't know. There's a lot to be excited about, Michelle. I don't know if I could measure. I think I'm most excited to see how well we will work together. I know we're going
Mm-hmm.
to do a great job, but I can't wait to see what it looks like, what the outcome would be.
Yeah. Um, what's your biggest fear?
Fear. Um, I don't know that I thought about my biggest fear.
Let me do fear slash because I don't know. I can't wrap my brain around and a fear word for you. So what do you I'm gonna say what are you most uncertain about? That might be the better way to say it because I'm not I don't see you as fear in this stuff. So as I said the word, it was like, okay, bad word, not the right word to describe you.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I'm most uncertain about is learning about how regulations look
Mm,
for the outpatient setting versus those
yeah.
regulations that I'm very familiar with on the inpatient setting. So that's one of the things that I'm really gonna watch for
Mhm.
and put myself in position to learn so that I'm
Yeah.
sure that we are doing things the way that we need to do things.
Interesting animal to call out because when you think about it, you come up through leadership ranks in the acute care setting and you get exposed to all these regs, which healthcare is highly regulated, right?
Absolutely.
As you come up. So by the time you get to a chief nurse officer role, um, it's like it's not new. You know the stuff. You've been dealing with the stuff. But you're
Right.
coming up through an aspect of healthcare that's not acute care. And but you haven't come up through those ranks.
Right.
So you're literally stepping in as chief nurse officer in an aspect of the healthcare delivery system that you haven't been a part of before.
Absolutely.
The upside in my, myopic view or limited view is that I would imagine that the healthcare setting is a little less regulated than the acute care setting. But then again, I'm speaking from a place that I frickin' don't know.
Well, we'll see what that looks like.
We will see what that looks like.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm excited. I want to touch base again to find out how things are going. But I think the main thing for me was that transitions that we take, because I've taken them before in my career when I've gone from finance to becoming a lean consultant, right? You're stepping into this unknown. And I think when we do that, the thing that we can ground ourselves in is the certainty, if we have it, right? That we have the capability to succeed at whatever's in front of us, even if we don't know the particulars, right?
Right.
So for me, finance director to lean consultant to manager of education standards,
Right.
never done delivery or stuff like that before. But I think part of it is, Tansy, is the network of the people that we have around us to be able to tap into to go, okay, I don't know with certainty this thing. I know what my capabilities are. But I know who I could go to go, get me over this hump. In the space that you're in right now, have you identified those people for you?
Absolutely. I feel like I've got a great team.
Yeah,
My colleagues are very knowledgeable. There's a lot of tenure in the organization. So I feel
that's
like
cool.
I'm surrounded by a wealth of information. So I'm not worried at all. I think
Okay.
it's going to be an excellent journey, and I can't wait to see how we marry some of the experiences and things that I've um, uh, come through with my career, how we put that together with the outpatient setting. So I'm excited. It's really gonna be um, just next level.
Yeah, I can't wait. It'll be fun to watch.
Yes.
So thank you. So what's something you want people to walk away with? One or two things based on just your perspective, and if people are thinking about stepping into something new that they're not sure of, or don't have that exact experience. Um, what are your thoughts?
Go for it. Take the chance. What do you have to lose? The only thing that you lose is the opportunity in front of you, right? And any opportunity we have to grow and develop, I think is very valuable. And so don't risk that opportunity by by letting fear
Hmm.
set in and take over.
Yeah,
Go for
I
it.
like that. I like that. It's so funny because when I look at you and I'm talking to you right now, it's like your energy level is just off the charts right now. The excitement, I'm gonna make a difference. This is exciting. So it's freaking cool to see. I love it.
Thank you.
I would have to second what you said about go for it. I think it's one of those things too, is, if for some reason you're presented with an opportunity in an area that you're not sure of and you're resisting it, my encouragement is to actually check yourself and figure out where that's coming from.
Yeah, that's I love that because I've had to have a few of those check-ins. Because I'm wondering, like, what it's so different from what I'm used to, and I'm
Mhm.
having to pinch myself to say, is this real? So those check-ins that you're talking about, I've experienced quite a few of those lately.
Yeah. So I think that's it, is don't drop it, don't do it, don't say no, I can't do this or whatever, but really look inside and check in to see what's going on.
Right.
And then I'm going to go back to my old standby, which is face your fears and do it anyway.
I love that. Do it anyway. Yes,
Yes,
absolutely. Yes.
yes. So thank you. I'm excited. Thank you very much for the time. This is Leadership Soundbites with Tanzi and Michelle. Please like, share, subscribe, and I guess put the little notification bell so you can get notification. And until next time, thank you.
Thank you.